Coming to you from that once-forgotten artery that pulses through the center of the continental United States and into the heart of the Ozarks, Grace Matthews. Looking in from the northern border, our Canadian friend, along with his countrymen feeling the effects of U.S. political issues, Connor Murphy.
Welcome to Dueling Dialogues, episode 163. I'm Connor Murphy, here with Grace Matthews in Springfield, Missouri. Hi, Grace. How you doing?
Well, I had a paranormal experience.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, I did. So I'm just going to let everybody decide what they think it was.
Okay.
You know, every morning I do these Jewish prayers or mantras, okay? Whatever you want to call it. I say it out loud. And so I got to like about the second paragraph of about a 5 to 7 minute ordeal. And Alexa says, I'm listening. Now I looked back and could not find anything that would trigger her. I also Googled, and I don't see any reason for her to say, I'm listening.
Wow. Okay. That's
weird. I don't know what. Yeah, I mean, it's like there'll be people. Oh, I don't believe that happened. It did.
Oh, weird.
It was, and nobody else in the house except Oliver, and he really doesn't talk. He's a dog. So, I don't know.
That is a bit creepy. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think Alexa's God.
Yeah, exactly.
God used Alexa. Huh.
Well, I watch a lot of those ghost shows, and they have like these electronic devices where spirits could talk to you.
Yeah. So, well, I just thought everybody might enjoy that.
Yeah. Well, now you creep me out for the day.
Yeah. It was it really didn't creep me out. It was like exciting. I hope somebody listened, please.
Oh, weird.
So I hope we got a lot of listeners out there today. It's Friday. Fridays are always special.
Yeah.
Today is a particularly special Friday because a lot of our listeners love Dr. Gina Loudon. And we're going to be talking about her book, Mad Politics, Keeping Your Sanity in a World Gone Crazy. Now, I don't believe she can do that for us because the world has gone crazy.
Yeah, I'd say. Yeah, even us north of the border, it's gone crazy. So. Oh,
you guys are really gone crazy.
Oh, yeah.
You guys are usually really stable people.
Yeah, waiting later today, Jody Wilson-Raybould is supposedly making some of her evidence public.
Wow.
I'm not sure really how that is happening or how she's getting around it, but she does have a ex-Supreme Court judge as her lawyer, so I'm sure nobody's going to question him at all. But what happened this week is the Liberals shut down the Justice Committee investigation into Lav Scam, and they also shut down the Ethics Committee, which, of course, they had a majority on. So...
Holy moly.
Yeah, and there was no ruling as far as the legal voting that was allowed to occur. So, they've put up a wall and blocked any attempt for any real justice in this. So this is going to be interesting. And I just read a few minutes ago that Jody's got a recording.
Oh my goodness. Oh wow.
Yeah, so shit's about to hit the fan, I think, this afternoon. So who knows? We might be in election as of Monday, so who knows?
No kidding. Oh wow. Okay. This is exciting.
Yeah.
Well, my gosh, thanks for sharing that.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. So anyway, back to Dr. Gina Loudon.
Yes, sorry. Yeah. We digress.
Oh, you're fine. When Gina came out with this book, CNN really attacked her.
Of course.
And I want to kind of cover that because they attacked her for misrepresenting herself as a psychologist as in relation to this book.
Okay.
Now, she definitely does not come across as someone trying to be a psychologist. there are things that have an interpretation.
Okay.
Now, could she have changed the book? I guess the book could have been changed between now and then. But she certainly got a lot of backlash. I want to say that I believe that is unfair.
Right.
And I really do believe it's hurt her book. But people should definitely rise above that, because we can't have this kind of slanderous talk.
Yeah, for sure.
And have it hurt people in that way. You know, if you don't like it and you don't believe it, don't buy the book.
Right.
But it really was not to CNN and the benefits of others to suggest that she had professionally misrepresented herself.
Huh.
Now, I will tell you, Gina Loudon is very right. She's more right-wing than I am.
Okay.
She doesn't really believe in any kind of abortion.
Okay.
So I just want to throw that out there, because, and a lot of people don't, I don't really for myself, but as we've talked about before on abortion, if you make it illegal, the circumstances are horrendous. I had a friend that died, a Catholic, that believed that her family was going to be so destroyed by a pregnancy that she tried to do it herself. She killed herself in the process accidentally.
Yeah,
the
absolutely.
guy that was responsible for the baby was never okay after she killed herself. I mean, he was screwed up. So then not only did you lose a baby, you lost a woman, a baby, and a guy.
Yeah, very destructive. There has to be options for everybody. Women need to make that choice. But this late term stuff.
This late term thing is a whole different bear.
Yeah, absolutely. This is, we're talking almost apples and oranges here, seriously.
Absolutely. I mean, she's close to my heart in that, first of all, she's a Missouri girl. She grew up about an hour and a half from here in Jeff City. That's our capital in Missouri.
Okay. She
has an adopted special needs son. I have 2 adopted sons. One of them is special needs. So I feel like I have like a kinship with her.
Right.
I will tell you that Jefferson City, so much different than Springfield. She is the same age as me. She's about 6 months older. There were problems going on in Jefferson City at the time. And I remember my parents talking about it. We went to visit the Capitol, and my dad was, "Oh, be careful, there's gangs here." And, I'm going, what's a gang? Oh, what's that? It sounded creepy by the look of my dad's face, but she lived there during that time. And what had happened was a preacher had brought in a lot of gang members, hoping to rehab them.
Okay.
Not having a very good plan.
Right.
Hoping to bring them to Jefferson City, integrate them into the school, and everything's going to be okay.
Yes.
It wasn't okay.
Of course not.
So Gina is definitely a victim of that. If you've seen her, she's very, very beautiful, even at age 57. She, blonde hair, very petite, 5'1", and she was the victim of reverse discrimination.
Wow.
Okay. She was attacked and abused for being a white. She says that her family wasn't really well-to-do, but they could afford what they wanted. They only had one child. Her parents were divorced. They both did well. So she had nice clothes, nice car, So as far as these people were concerned, she was rich. Right. She was beaten often by these gangs, and at one point she was raped. She talks about that in the book.
Wow.
And So she has not lived the charmed life that we might observe her today
right.
as living. There have been many charmed things about her life, but she does know tragedy.
Okay.
Is she a racist? No. But has she been a victim of reverse discrimination, or what we used to call reverse discrimination? Probably has a new name. Okay. Yes, very, very much so. Alarmingly so. I wish I would have liked to have seen her get help. It's really shocking that she did not feel like, or that they had threatened her in a way that she so much believed, that she didn't go to the authorities, she didn't go to her parents.
Wow.
And I really think I would have told my parents, but I wasn't in her position.
Right.
I think I would have just, I would have even been able to surmise. Okay, so we move. Shall we go into hiding? I would have figured out. I would have thought that way. My mom and dad can figure out how they're not going to get killed by these people.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I sort of hope she didn't lack trust in the parents in her life. But she's a big girl now. She's doing fine. So, she is she's a crusader for Trump.
No wonder CNN hated her so much.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. She started out as a Cruz supporter.
Okay.
She very quickly saw something in Trump that made her believe, first of all, he was going to win. Secondly, that he was going to change things. And you ask her if he's crazy or mad, and she will say, yes, he's crazy like a fox.
Okay.
I agree with that.
Yeah, I think I do too.
Agree wholeheartedly with that.
Yeah.
Even when he acts goofy, he acts very much like my father did. My father was brilliant. And except for the people that work for him and his own children and his wife, you really would not have known that. Because he would talk to people in a way that's very much like Trump.
Right.
A little brash. He was constantly joking. People sometimes didn't know if he was joking.
Right.
And I think sometimes Trump is joking and we don't know it.
Yeah.
We don't really get it. So she talks about Trump in a way that would suggest that he really planned and studied the left. And in a lot of ways, I think she's right.
Well, didn't he used to consider himself a Democrat?
Yes, he did.
So he didn't have to study too much then.
Exactly. Exactly. But as we've talked about before, these Democrats are like Obama, especially Obama. He was groomed very early on.
Right.
Even before he went to Columbia. There are several books out there. She mentions one. We've talked about one before, but what I want to insert right here is something that is not from her book, but I believe she would agree that this is appropriate. Now, Hillary, during Watergate, we forget, was a Republican.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Now, I do not believe during Watergate, even though she was, I don't know, surely she had already written her thesis. I don't know. Her thesis was based upon Saul Alinsky. Saul Alinsky died 43 years ago, but his writings have influenced the politics of the left, the new politics of the left that began with Barack Obama, not Bill Clinton's Baba politics.
Right.
Bill Clinton was a Democrat. I mean, we had to love him. I sort of loved him. I mean, he turned out to be a creep, but as a president, I kind of liked him, even though he was a Democrat.
Yeah, and I think
we did well. We made good money. He made good decisions.
Yeah, and I think most Canadians would probably agree with that, except for the creepy
part.
part.
I'm sure. Yeah,
Same
the creepy sexual part that came out, that's bad. But we often refer to him around here as Bubba.
Okay.
So, it's just kind of enduring. Nevertheless, Saul Alinsky laid out an outline of this is how you create a social state. That is in play now. Now, you sent me a recording yesterday. I don't know the guy's name because I kept trying to see, okay? And he suggested that AOC and others, especially a lot of the newbies in the Congress, have been groomed.
Right.
Okay?
Yeah, and I think you can include Beto in that too.
Oh, absolutely, Beto. Thank you. Okay, so the plan is healthcare. Number one, control healthcare, and you control the people. How many times have I said that?
Right. Lots.
Yeah, I say that almost every show because I believe it and I live it, and it has affected me, and it drives me crazy when pundits get on TV, even that are on the right, and they're saying he should not be taking healthcare to task for 2020. It will ruin him. Okay? As Dr. Gina says, he is about getting something done, not what is politically correct or politically profitable for him to do. It would be politically profitable, that's hard to say, for him to let the Democrats go Medicare for all and attack it. Attack it. He's sure a 2020 win.
Right.
That's not who he is. He even Rush Limbaugh last night said, you shouldn't be doing this healthcare thing. Well, we're all dying out here.
Yeah, someone has to do it.
People are dying, okay? Small town hospitals are closing up.
Right.
Okay? We can't wait 2 years, then another 2 years.
Exactly. It needs to happen now.
It will be serious. This site, like I've said, not only are you controlling the people's health care, you're controlling 20 to 25% of the GDP.
Right.
If you say, okay, go to hell, insurance companies, they're making way too many decisions. Okay, number 2, poverty. Increase the poverty level as high as possible. Poor people are easier to control. Hitler did that.
Right.
Okay, that is communism, socialism 101. Debt. Increase the debt of the country to unsustainable level. Again, that way you have to raise the taxes. You're controlling more of the money. And the higher the taxes get, the more poverty you produce.
Right. Control.
Okay? Gun control.
Okay.
Get those guns. Remove their ability to defend themselves. Remember the show Revolution and some of those Disaptania type shows? If they don't have the weapons,
exactly,
it's a little hard. Okay?
Yeah.
You can't take a knife to a gunfight.
Yeah.
Okay? That way you can control the police state. Welfare. Take control of every aspect in their lives you can. Food, income, housing, whatever you can get control of. Education. Take control of what people read and listen to. Indoctrinate them. Take control of what the children learn. Okay? This is one we talked a lot about a couple of weeks ago, maybe just last week. Religion. Get rid of it. Remove God. Remove places where people gather and talk. Church is a biggie. Create class warfare. Warfare. Okay?
Yeah.
Turn the black people and the white people against each other. Okay?
Yeah.
This is what's happening. Okay?
It totally is.
This list was compiled by Garrett Gear. Okay? But I've seen this list before, so he certainly didn't do anything. This is a lot about what Dr. Gina talked about Trump did. He watched and listened, because all of these things, these 8 items, you repeat. Okay?
Yeah.
If we hear something long enough or many times, we believe it. It becomes some sort of truth.
Just like Russian collusion.
Exactly. The president last night called it collusion delusion.
Yeah, I like that.
Okay?
Yeah.
Now, remember the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, but expecting a different result.
Right.
Dr. Gina suggests we've been doing that thing over and over again since Reagan. I would suggest maybe even longer than that, even though I liked Reagan. Reagan did do some dynamic things. Politicians talk, and we know they say things that they know they're not going to get done. Trump doesn't want to be that. He wants to be the doer. I say leave him alone on the damn health care. Let him do it. And if the Republicans need to stick with him, Mitch McConnell's basically telling him, no, let's just attack Medicare for all. In fact, Mitch McConnell's calling it Medicare for none.
Yeah.
Which is true, okay? Leave him alone. We need it.
Yeah, absolutely.
She also talks about how the president understands branding. Okay? Crooked Hillary. Over and over again. Crooked Hillary. You know, a certain part of all of us thinks Hillary's crooked.
Well, yeah, it would be hard to
I mean, yeah, you can
argue the fact that she's not.
But, you know, and a little Marco Rubio, little Marco, you know? Now, our mind goes places with that, you know?
Yeah.
You know, he always comes up, you know, now we've got Shift with pencil neck Shift.
Yeah.
That's what he came up with last night. And you won't be able to look at Shift anymore without seeing a pencil neck and his hair as an eraser.
That's too funny.
All over the Twitter feeds.
Right.
People, I love these people that can do this art, and they make up these memes and they do these pictures, and it's amazing.
Yeah, I can definitely see what you're saying, that he knows branding, because branding is not what you try to make your company. It's what people think of your company.
Exactly. And he's very pragmatic. Okay. I love people that are pragmatic because I'm pragmatic. You know, I was raised by a mother that is so OC, you know, about the details.
Right.
That she missed so much in life, and I could observe it. You know, like, we can't go there. There's a dirty dish in the sink.
Wow.
And it taught me in a greater aspect to be pragmatic. Half of what you want is better than none of what you want.
Right.
Trump, that's a good businessman. But he gets in these people's heads. He gets in their heads and he makes them behave in such a way.
Right.
That they eat themselves alive.
Derangement.
Remember how much, derangement. It's got an IC9 code, meaning it is a real illness now.
Yeah, I see it every day on my Facebook feed, so yeah, I true believer it's real.
Oh, absolutely. Let's see. Sometimes do you ever go out of order? Because things just flow better.
Yeah, that's okay.
Back to Dr. Gina. Okay, she was one of the first Tea Party people. I believe she said she was even the leader. I mean, when they went to, you know, and dumped all the tea in the river and said, we're starting a new movement, and that's why she started getting on TV. Now, her husband was in the Missouri House and Senate in Missouri. Right. She did act as his media person. So he was in politics for many years, but she made it on the national level during the Tea Party movement. And a lot of the Tea Party people now, I believe, are libertarians. I believe that most of the hardcore Tea Party people now call themselves libertarians.
Okay.
So she, as far as her career goes, she has been very lucky. Okay. During the Tea Party, she hooked up with Breitbart.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Steve Bannon.
Right.
Andrew Breitbart.
Okay.
That led her to eventually to Roger Ailes, several radio jobs. I mean, she really she homeschools her 5 children, which they're kind of getting grown now. But so she was able to hop all over the country. I mean, they lived in Alabama, they lived in California after her husband got out of Missouri politics. And so somehow, and as a mother, I'm a little envious, and a mother of a special needs child, how she could manage to hop all over the place and make a pretty fascinating career for herself.
Well, right on.
You know? So she's, as a woman, you just got to admire it, you know?
For sure.
Certainly, the theme that comes through a lot is a lot of reverse discrimination that she's experienced. And I know I said that before, but it really, in a way, that defines her at a visceral level.
Okay.
She talked about Trump, and this was before she became one of his media surrogates. She said he stayed after at the debates and talked to every reporter there. I mean, and to the lowliest person from the school newspaper.
Right.
The other candidates left. After they took 3 major networks, they were out of there. She said, no, every step of the way, he pretty much set himself aside.
Huh. Wow, okay.
Okay, because you got to remember, at one point, there's 17 people on the stage.
That's pretty interesting. I had no idea.
Yeah. So she talks a lot about how the left manufactures outrage in conjunction with Trump. How they use this, she calls it plantation politics. You know, again, we're talking about class warfare. I don't think they're really all that particular about who they're turning against. It could be the American Indians, it could be the Asians, it could be Islam. You know, it's not necessarily just black plantation politics.
Right. Politics like Jussie Smollett.
Exactly. That's just so despicable to even a lot of Democrats. I mean, come on. That story just keeps getting more stupid as we carry on.
Well, obviously there's some obstruction in there.
Oh, yeah, some. I'd say the whole thing. Now, one thing you would not like about Dr. Gina, and that is she is no on marijuana.
Okay.
She says it causes all sorts of mental problems. Now that's where maybe she is talking a little bit about a psychologist, but she doesn't. You know, it's her opinion. I still say that Trump's going to federalize it so that it's the problem of the states.
Right.
That's what he should do before 2020. He does that, he picks up a whole new set of voters.
Yeah, I think you're right.
I believe that, you know, I'm just going to insert this because we like to digress a little bit. You know, the talk this week is, yep, that more schizophrenics have smoked pot. Well, my guess is that schizophrenics like pot because it makes them feel better.
Yeah, probably.
Okay,
probably,
I've dealt with schizophrenics, you know, when I was at the clinic and all that, you know, working, doing an internship at the clinic. I think they're just trying to self-medicate because the hell they go through
We used to see.
I think marijuana helps them.
Yeah, we used to see that same kind of propaganda in the media here, but since it has been sort of legalized, we don't see that much anti-pot propaganda anymore. It's curtailed quite a bit. So that is an interesting fact that,
absolutely,
they finally laid off with their propaganda. People are smarter than that.
I think they are. I do. I think anything can be bad. I saw one doctor the other day ask if which was worse, marijuana or alcohol.
Oh, alcohol's way worse.
Choked. He did not want to say it, though.
Right. Marijuana's never killed anybody.
But I will hand him this. He did say it.
Well, there you go.
So, but let me tell you, it hurt him awfully bad. Okay, so she talked about another person that is one of our favorites on the show, and that's Mr. Soros.
Oh, lovely.
Now, she says that Soros is assaulting the heartland.
Oh, I believe that.
And she really has like I said, this is probably her best moment in this book, where she talks about Soros going for the heart and how the limbs cannot live without the heart, meaning California, D.C., they can't live if the heartland is not functioning. If you make a wasteland out of us, they're not going to make it.
Yeah.
And
okay, yeah. Well,
she's got some hyperbole going there that is, I really, really liked it.
Okay.
She also discussed why people like Soros are overlooking things like Sharia law, terrorism, Islam, and bullies. Islamic law, I should say. And that is because everybody else has quit having so many babies. Okay? And Islam is growing. These people think first and foremost of power.
Right.
Okay? So here pretty soon, and what has really come to head this week is the Sharia law idea. Not for the politics, because they're trying to keep it out of it. But this week, we have a lot of gay people that have gone, wait a minute, you asshole Democrats.
Yeah.
Okay? Sharia law, what are they going to do to me?
Yeah, kill him. Beheaded.
Yeah. And that's wrong, because first of all, why would you care who somebody sleeps with?
Yeah, I can't even believe that in this day and age we're discussing this, or we're having to discuss this. It's so ridiculous.
Exactly. Sharia law is like backwards.
Yeah.
I mean, when you think a lot about what the Democrats are talking about lately, okay, get rid of the airplanes, what are we going to do? Go on horseback?
Yeah, exactly.
PETA would be after us.
Yeah.
What are we going to do? Walk? That's going backwards.
Yep.
Okay. The way we look at women and gay people, according to Sharia law, that's pretty much a step backwards.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you can't have it both ways, These people that are rooting in their personal lives for Sharia law and getting up on Capitol Hill and saying, that they're not.
Yeah,
and they're going home and living Sharia law.
We have the same thing.
Yeah.
In Canada, going on right now. Just
can't have it both ways.
Well, we have some members of parliament that are kind of pushing that way. They're Muslim female, but I don't see them wearing a hijab or burqa or whatever the hell you call it, the headdress of any type.
Yeah,
so
that's what I call it, headdress, so I don't get in trouble.
That's why I'm scratching my head, and I'm thinking, geez, you want us to boycott countries that are treating women as second-class citizens, and then you come here and then you want to bring it here? What? That's what doesn't make sense to me.
Well, and Dr. Gina suggests that we need to separate Islam, separate the political part from the religious part. Now with Judaism, we have this issue of separating Judaism from being Jewish. Right. Because not all Jews are religious at all. I mean, just, in fact, there's a whole lot of Jews that are Buddhists.
Wow.
She also talks about how, most all the religions have been able to live side by side. Christians and Jews, Jews and Hindus, Jews and Buddhists, Buddhists and Hindu. She goes through the whole list, beautiful list. But why is it everybody has trouble living next to the Nation of Islam as a religion? Why do the Christians, the Jews, the Hindus, why do they have to be so bad to the Nation of Islam?
I don't know.
I think that's a very, very interesting thing to think about. And how can we appropriately separate the religion, which I have no problem with, and Sharia law? Or are they so intertwined in the Muslim faith that we don't know how, or that maybe we can't separate it? That's just me talking. I don't know. Now, moving on. Sometimes I don't have a great transition, but she admits in the book, Dr. Gina does, that she's ADD or ADHD.
Okay.
She also admit that much like Trump, she is a bit narcissistic. And we talked about it. You cannot be president without being narcissistic. Now, there's narcissistic, and then there's narcissistic that is like a sociopath.
Right.
Kind of.
Right.
Or antisocial disorder.
Right.
She talked about, as I have before, a lot of mental illnesses can actually serve you well, and I always bring up Martha Stewart. She said at one point that she was manic all the time. She only needed to sleep a couple hours a night. Well, look how well it served her. She made an empire.
She's a lot better now since she discovered cannabis and Snoop Dogg.
Oh, I know.
She looks so much more happier today.
She does. But this led Dr. Gina to go into IC9 codes. And the fact that the new IC9 codes suggest that pretty much everything's a disorder, not just Trump Derangement Center, but, and I've complained about that before, you kind of know that Uncle Frank is cranky.
Yeah.
Well, now we have to diagnose Uncle Frank.
Okay.
We know that Aunt Becky overeats and she's fat. Now we give her a mental IC9 code.
Okay.
Because overeating is now, a psychiatric disorder. And do we really need to do that? And I'm very happy that she brought that up, because I say that a lot.
Right.
What good does that do us?
Putting someone in a container.
Well, it also is drug companies. Because if we give it an IC9 code, we can prescribe a drug.
You're right. Good one. Yeah, I never thought of that.
We can generate more money. I won't say that. Sometimes you think of things and you think that someone else might not like for you to say it. Do you ever do that?
Oh, every day I type something in Facebook and then I have to backspace it out and go, no, I can't say that. I'll go to jail.
Say that. Well, or you're letting something out about somebody you love or know, and and you don't want to do it.
Right.
She knows a lot about North Korea and Little Kim. Of course, she would disagree with me, who says that Little Kim's probably not in charge as much as we're led to believe. I believe it's the three generals. I mean, she definitely believes that Kim is responsible for everything, and we differ a lot on that. The outcome is the same, whether it's Little Kim or the generals. The people are starving, and they believe that the whole world is out to get them, and the rest of the world are devils or something. So
right.
it really doesn't matter in the end. She does, and I'm not going to list these, she does have 7 deadly sins of socialism. Very interesting. And like I said, she then again moved into more about herself. She talks about a horrible incident with her adopted son with Down syndrome, grabbing a pan of grease, and the burns, and how he spent months and months in the burn center, and how it really was a stress on their family because she was out of town. They weren't watching him well. How it put a stress on her marriage. So, it was really heartfelt. One thing about Gina is she tries to always find a bright side. So after all these horrible things happen, she drives it home with the positive it brought in her life. She talks about being on wife swap. That was another thing that happened very early in her career, I guess, in front of the cameras.
Right.
Because she had really been on the radio for a while. And so she did the wife swap thing. I didn't watch it, so I don't really have, I guess that she was very much labeled a gun-slinging Christian crazy woman. I don't know. That's what she says. I believe her. I didn't watch it. I don't watch reality shows because I don't believe in humiliating people. I don't even like it when they want to, humiliate themselves. Something interesting that I think you will laugh about is she suggested that we should encourage our kids to wait till after 18 to date.
Good luck with that.
Wow, I would have missed a hell of a lot of fun.
Yeah.
My kids have not dated near as much as I did before 18.
Right.
So, I think kids tend to, they hang out in groups, We went on dates, So I think she can probably say that and not be as weird as had she said it during my time. People would have stoned her to death, Oh my
Exactly.
God. She discusses a lot about Israel. It's a very good read, and like I said, the book has not had a fair shake because she was attacked very early on. I would definitely encourage people to buy it and read it. For one thing, we don't want people attacked like that unfairly.
Right.
That's uncool. It's not truthful. And it's becoming too prevalent.
Well, I'd have to agree with you there.
But we don't always agree, but life's a journey, and we're all in this together. Thanks for listening. Godspeed, Connor, and Godspeed to all of our friends out there.
Godspeed, Grace, and thanks for listening.